I came up with this analogy. To explain what trips is going to be, and I think it's pretty powerful. Trips is going to do to Airbnb and bookings and all the others what Tesla is doing to BMW, Mercedes, for Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and so far. Before Tesla, the whole electric car idea was like, okay, they're slow, they don't have range, they are hybrid, so you have to mix petrol with battery basically, because the battery doesn't go far enough, etc., etc. Then Tesla pushed the limits ahead. Batteries became more powerful, and now Tesla has enough range, right? We are not done yet. It's just going to improve. While on the other side, the internal combustion cars are not going to improve much anymore, because, well, we almost basically reached the peak. Every improvement there is very small, right? So, and we are right now in the transition between thinking that the default car is running on petrol, to the new thinking, which is cars should just be electric. And when you go on a Tesla, and I'm not a Tesla fan in any way, I'm not a car fan in any way, I mean, this is not my thing, but when you go on a Tesla, and I've been on a Tesla, and you see what's happening there, you see the speed, and you see the acceleration, and the fact that it's not noisy and that it is smooth, right? And when you get down on the Tesla, you look at the other cars in a different way. You start looking at them as something from the past. You look at a Porsche and you say, what is this, dinosaur juice running car? Because you're actually burning dinosaur juice. You're burning petrol, which was made millions of years ago. And the fumes and all these liquids and this dirt in the engine, it just stops making sense. So you transition in a new world, and the same thing is going to happen with trips, because once you start getting bookings from trips and you realize that it's cheaper, the reviews you get do not belong to trips but to you. The listings cannot be cancelled by trips because it's managed by you. And trips is simply bringing you bookings. The platform is there to bring you bookings, not to own your business from the beginning to the end, not to control you in every possible way, right? Then you're going to look back and say, I don't want any more bookings from the legacy OTAs. They are just toxic to my business. They are toxic to the whole industry, in the same way as, my last car was a diesel car and I was driving it. I knew I was like simply polluting every single mile I was running, every single kilometer I was polluting. And now I don't have a car, but if I had a Tesla, I would feel, well, I'm not polluting when I'm running. Yeah, maybe with the battery, that's a whole different discussion. Every new technology is not 100% better, okay? But you're gonna look back and you're gonna say, okay, I'm done with these OTAs. I wanna get only bookings through decentralized platforms. And another analogy is that when Tesla comes out and there's no electricity, chargers around the country you live in, it's basically useless. If you can charge your car only at home, well, the use cases are really limited. So the same thing happened when we passed from horses to cars. Cars were running on dirt roads. There were no petrol stations. It didn't make sense. So you need an infrastructure around it to make it sense out of these cars. In the same way, we need people to have cryptocurrency, because if they don't have cryptocurrencies, we have to be hybrid and accept credit cards. Credit cards are 1950 technologies. They just are not made for the internet. Once you get on cryptocurrency, then you understand that they are just made on top of the internet. They are incredibly smooth and everything is just better with them. Then you don't want to touch credit cards anymore, okay? We're going to have to go through a hybrid period with credit cards, in the same way as electric cars had to go through these hybrid periods with the Prius. So yeah, that's the analogy, and I think it's pretty powerful. It's a different way to do things. under, in every aspect. So it takes time to have the whole infrastructure ready, all the pieces getting together. But once you are there, you don't want to look back.